Mason Miller is headed to the IL. Luis Medina is starting Thursday's game against the Texas Rangers. I'm going to get you all caught up with all of the injury news from the A's and get you ready for Thursday's game against the Texas Rangers, as well as some takeaways from the Yankees series today on Locked On A's.
You are Locked On A's, your daily Oakland A's podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
It's time for Locked On A's. Stepping to the mic, it's your host, Jason Burke.
How's it going, A's fans? And welcome to episode 569 of the Locked On A's podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am your host, noted baseball fan, Jason Burke, and on today's show, we're talking about Mason Miller going to the IL, Luis Medina coming up, some other moves that have also happened. Ramón Laureano is back, things of that nature. And then we're going to also get you ready for tonight's game against the Texas Rangers. But before we get into anything, today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off of your first purchase. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Also, make sure to follow us on social media at Locked On A's on Twitter and Instagram. I'm by Jason B on Twitter. Check out Inside the A's for more A's news, insight, and analysis coming your way whenever A's news happens. It's at Inside the A's. And last thing, thank you so much for making Locked On A's your first listen of the day. We are free and available on all platforms, including on YouTube. So if you're already on YouTube, make sure to just subscribe over there, like and comment. That's how it helps the channel grow. And if you're listening to this in audio form, hey, how's it going? There's a YouTube version of this as well, so you can see if the voice matches what you could see on the screen, which is fun. But we're also available on all the podcast platforms, so check us out over there. But let's get to these A's roster moves and then get ready for Thursday's game against the Rangers. First up, Mason Miller headed to the IL. He got a second opinion from a doctor, and now the doctors are conferring, and they're going to come up with what to do next with Mason Miller. So Mark Kotsay talked to reporters. They did not have, he did not have any further information. He's going to have more on Friday as to how Mason Miller is doing. What that means, no idea. But the first MRI said that there was no structural damage, so you got to believe that it's not like Tommy John, right? Right? It can't be Tommy John, right? So we'll know more before Friday's game, and I'll tweet out the thing for that because I'll record Friday's episode before game time and before Mark Kotsay talks to the media. So we'll update you on social media, I suppose. Luis Medina is going to be called up. Well, actually, he's been called up. He's starting Thursday's game. He's already there. He's already at the ballpark, getting ready to start against the Texas Rangers. And his last outing in Las Vegas was actually just 2/3 of an inning. It was a bullpen outing. And some people were like, oh, they're transitioning him to the bullpen. But I looked at that and I was like, maybe he's just getting some work done, because it would be weird to just all of a sudden, after making his big league debut as a starting pitcher, have him make one more start and then transition him to the bullpen. That seemed odd. He didn't have a great start in that first start back in Las Vegas. It's hard to keep that intensity. But my guess was, hey, it's a bullpen day for him. They had not enough arms, and they were like, hey, can you get us a couple of outs? And so we did that. And he walked one, struck out one. That was his outing for Las Vegas out of the bullpen. Because of that, Mark Kotsay was asked, so is he opening today? What's the plan here? And Luis Medina is this is going to be a full capacity start for him. He is not an opener. This is a full start. Is he a part of the rotation? No, the rotation is fluid per Mark Kotsay. So that's where we are right now. Who knows what anybody's doing? Wonderful. The A's don't have a lot of healthy pitchers that are on the 40-man roster that aren't already on the 26-man roster. So they're kind of let's figure this out, I guess. One guy that they also called up is Zach Neal. He was added to the roster. He's now on the 40-man roster because he's on the 26-man roster. And he was called up today in this flurry of moves. And he pitched for the A's in 2016 and 2017. He pitched in 30 games for the team, had 84 and 2/3 innings pitched. He totaled a 4.89 ERA. He signed with the A's in April of this year on a minor league deal. He's 34 years old. So he signed a minor league deal with the A's after having little stints with the Dodgers, the Reds. He spent some time in Japan from 2019 to 2021. And then last year he was with the AAA team, the AAA affiliate of the Colorado Rockies. So he's been around a little bit since we last saw him. And he's been all right, I guess. He hasn't been great. He has like a 5.56, I think, ERA this year in 3 appearances. 2 of those were starts for Las Vegas. He's going to be available in the bullpen. His next scheduled start would have been either today or tomorrow. So, yeah, he's available. So we'll see how far Luis Medina goes and how much they need an arm right there. So Zach Neal is, I don't know, 80 pitches in the bank right now. That's what the A's need. That's what the A's seem to be doing right now. They have like plans and then what the pitchers are giving them. And the pitchers are not giving them a lot of innings and a lot of consistency. So they're just like, I don't know, we need a fresh arm. Let's get somebody. And they can't just keep cycling guys in because you got to have it to make room on the 40-man roster. You got to DFA guys, and it's a whole process. So they're just going with like the same group of 20 guys. And some of those guys are on the IL. Paul Blackburn being on the IL this entire season so far is not great. He is throwing again. He's back. I think his wife gave birth. I didn't listen that far into the press conference, but he was back throwing. He's doing stuff again, so he's probably back at like square one. I think he needs like 35 pitches, and then he's going to go up to 50, and yada yada yada. He'll be ready in like a few weeks, couple of weeks. Let's say a couple of weeks. Also, Manny Pena was transferred to the 60-day IL. I'm guessing that there's nothing new with that. Again, that was probably later on in the press conference, but I wanted to get recording because there's a game coming. So Manny Pena transferred to the IL. He'd already missed a bunch of time, and so you just have that start date of the IL stint, and he probably wouldn't be ready by the time that the 60 days would be up anyway. So 60-day IL stint probably doesn't mean a whole bunch for him, but could be wrong. I'll listen to the whole thing. I'll get back to you guys if that changes. Also, Ramón Laureano has been cleared by Major League Baseball. This has happened about 5 minutes before Mark Kotsay started talking to reporters. Mark Kotsay cleared. He is available off the bench in tonight's game on Thursday, so that is good. Also, Seth Brown is going to be going to Las Vegas to start his rehab assignment on Saturday, and the goal is to get him up to 9 innings. They want him to play a full game, and then they'll call him back up. And we'll see what happens with the A's roster at that point. But it's probably going to be about a week timetable is what Mark Kotsay gave reporters. So we'll see. We could see him soon, which would be fun. I'd like to see Seth Brown back in the lineup along with J.J. Bleday and Esteury Ruiz. And right now, the A's already have a good lineup, but adding Seth Brown could be a lot of fun, I gotta say. And also, Brent Rooker, obviously. Where does he fit? I have no idea. The A's have too many outfielders right now. Also, Aledmys Díaz could be returning on Sunday. He's been running for a couple of days. He's been feeling no pain in his hamstring. He's been running just fine. So Sunday is a day that he could be returning to the A's roster. So we'll see what happens with that. But let's get on to this first game against Texas. Tonight, it's going to be Luis Medina against Nathan Eovaldi. And, oh boy, I'm excited to watch Medina pitch because he has a lot of potential. As we saw against the Angels, he got smacked around a little bit. It wasn't great. They were just hitting balls off him real good. But hopefully he does okay in this one. Hopefully he just gives him 5. If he goes 5 innings and gives up whatever runs, I don't care. Give me 5 innings out of Luis Medina. Give me a bunch of strikeouts and don't allow too many walks. 2 walks, 5 innings. I don't care about the rest. Give me that. I will be happy with Luis Medina at the end of the night. But Nathan Eovaldi, he is on a tear right now. On the season, he is 4-2 with a 3.22 ERA. Good stats. He also, in his last 2 starts, has not allowed a run, and he's thrown 17 innings. He's thrown a complete game, and then also 8 innings. That doesn't happen anymore. Nathan Eovaldi is a unicorn in baseball in 2023 in 2 starts. He's allowed 8 hits in those 17 innings, walked 2, struck out 13. He is throwing the ball good. So that should be fun. Fun game for the A's. Hopefully the bats do a little bit. We'll see. Also, his hard hit rate which is, 95 miles an hour or harder, is in the 37th percentile. So when guys make contact, he's getting hit hard, but also his average launch angle is 2.9 degrees. So they're not hitting it well. They're hitting it into the ground generally. And you got Marcus over there. You got some guys that can play some defense on the infield, and it's leading to a lot of outs. And so that sucks. He's also not issuing walks, so coming by, runners on base is going to be tricky for the Oakland A's in this one. Maybe Esteury Ruiz can, do a little Ricky run kind of thing like he's done a couple of times this season. Get on base, walk, I don't know, hit my pitch, get on base, and then steal 3 bags, including home. That is how the A's can score a couple of runs tonight, and let's see if they can hammer out a couple of dingers too. The A's are to have a chance in this game, and I know that the A's are not a good team, but to have a chance in this game, they have to take advantage of every opportunity that they are given against Nathan Eovaldi tonight, because he is throwing the ball real good, and he's not going to just be walking guys. He's got like a 110 whip, and that's pretty solid. So that's the game for tonight. The Texas Rangers are a very good baseball team this year, better than people expected, and I don't know that the 2023 Oakland A's are going to be the ones that knock them off that perch. So, yay. Anyways, we're going to talk a little bit about Kyle Muller and JJ Bleday and their outings in New York coming up in just 1 second. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. I like just browsing in the app to see what's around and be like, hey, do I want to go to this? Because they have the quick and easy and cheap tickets, actually, over at on the Game Time app. And I thoroughly enjoy that. Download it, just play around with it. Buy some tickets, don't buy some tickets, have some fun with the Game Time app, and you will find something that interests you, because they got everything on this app. It is the place for last minute deals. Forget planning like months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. What else could there be? But there's more! More events that you can go see. The Game Time guarantee means that you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference, so you can snag tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. The A's are taking on the Rangers all weekend long. There's a Groot bobblehead as well, but that doesn't matter for this one, because you can catch all of the action over on the SiriusXM app. All you got to do is search Athletics in the app, and you can listen to the hometown broadcast through the SXM app. It's a great way to just catch some A's baseball on the go. But also, welcome back to the Locked On A's podcast. If you guys are enjoying the show, make sure to subscribe wherever you like to hear podcasts. Follow us on social media at Locked On A's on Twitter and Instagram. I'm by Jason B on Twitter. Check out Inside the A's for more A's news, insight, and analysis coming your way. Whatever A's news happens, it's at Inside the A's. That's at Inside the A's on Twitter or si.com/MLB/athletics. But let's talk a little bit about the Yankees sweep of the A's. I didn't get to record yesterday. My kid is going through a sleep regression. He's going through a leap. He's teething. It has been miserable here at the Burke compound. He is going through his big emotions of late. And it's been a dickens of a time. Let's just say that. But so let's talk about the Yankees series real quick. I got some thoughts. You want to hear them. I've got them. Here we go. Kyle Muller on Wednesday didn't have a great outing overall, but I was encouraged by what I saw from him. Kyle Muller went 4 innings, gave up 5 hits, 6 earned runs, walked 3, struck out 6. Let's talk about 3 of those runs. 3 of those runs came on what was deemed by Would It Dong, that is an automated bot that determines whether or not a ball would be a home run in all of the parks, especially like home run balls. And they called this one a unicorn. It would have only been a home run in Yankee Stadium. It is a unicorn. And that home run by Harrison Bader also needed fan interference to clear the wall. That is some crap. Wasn't a fan of that call. Real weird when you can just send it to New York to review a replay, and all of a sudden, Yankees got 3 runs on the board. When it was very clear that it was fan interference, the fan's glove was above J.J. Bleday's glove, and MLB was like, meh, who cares? 3 runs for the Yankees. For Slytherin. Let's just say it's for Slytherin. But I do want to say, he did go out for the 5th in this game, and that may have been like I know that you want to get deep into games with your starters. I understand that. But Kyle Muller has really struggled third time through the order. He went out for that 5th, gave up a double to Judge, a single to Rizzo, got pulled. Both those runs came around and score. He threw 5 pitches. He finished at 87. I know that you want him to get to 100, and he was only at 82 at that point. That makes sense, but the numbers for first, second, and third time through the order, you got to have a tighter leash with Kyle Muller, at least right now. It's obviously a learning season, and you got to let him go. It's not like wins matter necessarily, but oh boy, this game was still close, and he'd pitched well. Let him leave with the good thing that he did, as opposed to adding a couple of more runs to his ledger. That's not fair. Yeah, but he did settle in very nicely. I want to say, after that unicorn fan interference home run in the first, he gave up 4 runs in the first, and then he went 2, 3, 4. I think he gave up 1 hit. He was very, very good in those next 3 innings after kind of getting screwed on a call and then, being behind. He went out there and he pitched very, very well. I was encouraged by that. And then he went out for the 5th and allowed 2 base runners. And then this came around to score. So that was great, I guess. First time through the order, he in 15 and 2/3 innings pitched, he has a 1.72 ERA. He's allowed 3 walks, 13 strikeouts, and that he has a 2.74 on base percentage against. Those are good numbers. First time through the order, he's solid. Second time through the order, gets a little bit more dicey. But if you combine the 2, he's like league average. I would guess. I didn't run those numbers. I'd guess he's a roughly league average. First and second time combined, decent. Because he's thrown 12 1/3 innings pitched. He has a 7.30 ERA. He's allowed 10 walks, which is where he's getting into trouble, because that's almost a walk per inning. He's allowed 7K, or he's gotten 7 Ks, and that's a much lower strikeout rate. And he also has a 4.35 on base percentage against, and that's really high. You don't like that. You don't like that, for all you wrestling fans. And then third time through the order, he hasn't done this very much. So they know the numbers, because he's only thrown 6 innings third time through the order. And he has an 18 ERA with 5 walks in 6 innings. He struck out 1 in 6 innings, and he has a 6.05 on base percentage against. That's really high. So maybe don't let him go 2 times through, and then just pull him, have him do okay. I know that he's not going to be giving you all the pitches. I may have to ask him about this when I go to the game on Saturday and figure out, like, hey, what's the best approach here? Is it just like you getting better, or would you like to have like some confidence at some points? I don't know. That'd be weird. I don't know. Just a thought process. I don't know. But I thought that he did okay for those second, third, and fourth inning. He was pretty good. I want to talk to him about that. Like, what was his mindset? Well, like, what did he do to go out there and do that, and then what changed in the 5th? Because I'm intrigued by that. Also, quick note, last episode, I think, I don't know, I record a lot of these. One of the last couple of episodes, I talked about J.J. Bleday and him basically hunting fastballs. His home run on Wednesday came on a fastball, but he also didn't see that many fastballs in this game. That was the only at-bat that he saw fastballs in, and it was, I think he got 4 fastballs in the same at-bat from the same pitcher, Diego Garcia, and 2 of those were balls. One of them was a called strike. 4th one was deposited over the fence. So don't throw him that many fastballs if you want to get him out. That seems like a bad idea. I am intrigued to see if he sees more breaking pitches and more off speed. I believe that they were attacking him more with changeups. Maybe that was just the pitchers that were throwing. So something to keep an eye on moving forward. But fastball hunter, JJ Bleday, he's having a really good start to the season, honestly. He's only been here for about a week. He's hitting 379. He's got 3 doubles, 3 home runs. He's solid. I'm very happy that I said that he would be good when they traded AJ Puck for him. So that's good. Anyways, coming up, we're going to talk about Jordan Diaz and the swing change that he seemingly has made. Again, something I got to talk to him about. And why he had, maybe not why he had, but he had 3 dingers. Let's talk about it, you guys. Today's episode is brought to you by SoRare. Our new sponsor, SoRare, is a revolutionary fantasy baseball game and marketplace, transforming fans and owners with officially licensed digital cards featuring players from across all 30 MLB teams. Unlike other fantasy baseball platforms, SoRare managers truly own their fantasy experience, collecting, buying, selling, and competing with player cards against global opponents to win epic rewards. Win or lose, you still own your cards, and there's no cost to play. I asked some guys in the Locked On group chat, and I was like, how do I do better at this game? And they told me how, and I'm going to be getting more cards for free. I mean, they just... You play the minors portion of SoRare, you get rewarded cards. And so I'm excited to get a new common card that I can insert into my lineup. I've got Bryce Harper. I've got Esteury Ruiz. Who else do I have? I got Shohei Ohtani. I've got some nice players on my team. It's an okay team. It's not a top-ranked team, but I want to get there because this game is fun. It's kind of hands-off. You set your lineup, you forget about it, and then you get cards. You get cards, and it's a lot of fun. I'm thoroughly enjoying playing this so far. So head to sorare.com/lockedon. That's SORARE.com to draft your team of free player cards, set your lineup, and start competing today to win epic rewards. Again, that's sorare.com/lockedon to start playing today. I also have like Marcus Semien and Jonah Heim and Brock Burke, whoever the reliever is for the Rangers, because the Rangers are going to do bad things to the A's this weekend. So I stocked up on them. sorare.com. Yeah. The A's are playing the Rangers this weekend. And if you listen to the last ad, I'm not expecting great things, but if you want to still listen to the hometown broadcast, you can download the SiriusXM app. Just download the SXM app in your app store or wherever you get your apps, and search for Athletics once you download the app, and you can listen to the hometown broadcast and watch or listen to the A's take on the Rangers all weekend long. Also, welcome back to the Locked On A's podcast. If you guys are enjoying the show, make sure to subscribe wherever you like to hear podcasts. Follow us on social media at Locked On A's on Twitter and Instagram. I'm by Jason B on Twitter. Check out Inside the A's for more A's news, insight, and analysis coming your way whenever A's news happens. It's at Inside the A's. All right, so let's talk about Jordan Diaz's 3 home run game on Tuesday. I know it's been a couple of days, but with the weird start times, and by weird I mean morning start times here on the West Coast, it makes it weird to record things. So Jordan Diaz, he hit 3 home runs on Tuesday. What a feat. What a feat. He grew up watching games not in Yankee Stadium, but at Yankee Stadium, and that is cool because, you know, everybody says it's the mecca of baseball. I have not been. Sounds like a fun time. Granted, the old stadium sounded like a better time, but still, oh well. Per Sarah Langs, MLB.com researcher, Jordan Diaz is the 3rd rookie in A's history with a 3 home run game. Mark McGwire is the last one to do it. He was really good. He did a lot of great things. He did that on June 27th, 1987. And then before him, Mickey Cochran, May 21st, 1925. That's almost 100 years ago, you guys. That's a century of A's baseball. 3 times. It has been done 3 times. So pretty good time. Cochran, he's a Hall of Famer. He won the World Series 3 times. He won the MVP twice. And then Mark McGwire was Mark McGwire. He had the most home runs in baseball for a season for a minute there, until other people that were also doing things broke that record. So Mark McGwire, also a person, and good time. Good time. He had a good career. He may be in the Hall of Fame one day. We'll see. That's for a different discussion. But Diaz, for me, I wrote about this in January over at Inside the A's, and it seems like, he's he's got a little bit more power. And by a little bit more, he had 0 home runs last year. And this year, he has 4 in roughly the same amount of playing time. His average exit velocity is also up from 86.9 to 89.7. In 51 plate appearances in 2022, he had a 265 batting average. I'm sorry, a 294 on base and a 621 OPS. That's in 51 plate appearances in 2022. In 46 plate appearances in 2023, he had a 267 batting average, so 2 points higher. Not a big difference there. 2 points higher. A 283 on base. That's 11 points lower in on base because he's not walking a lot. But he also has almost 200 points in OPS. He has an 839 OPS. An 800 OPS is solid. That is a solid OPS from a second baseman. Heck yeah, take that. Jordan Diaz is he's adding layers to his onion mix. I like it. But I really wanted to talk about just some of the, he's basically sacrificing a little bit of contact is something that he's doing. His strikeout rate this season is 28.6, and that's high for him. That's high for a big leaguer. Not necessarily high for all big leaguers. It's a little high. And last year, in his similar sample size, it was at 13.7. He would hit it where it was pitched, and now he is hitting it over the wall. He's kind of waiting for a pitch. He's doing that a little bit more. And so that's something that's very intriguing to me. Is this going to keep happening, or is this a small sample size? Let's find out. His launch angle is up from negative 4.8 degrees, so that's in the ground, to 14.3. That's a line drive. He's doing good things. He's still just 22 years old. He's still got a lot of room to grow. But for the people that are on YouTube, and I apologize if you're doing this just via audio, but I have a couple of stills that I wanted to show you guys, just to show you the leg kick that he is introducing here. The first one is from an Angels game. This is Patrick Sandoval pitching last year against Jordan Diaz, and you can see that his toe is basically still on the ground as he's going for this ball. The ball ends up on the outside of the strike zone, away from him, and he still swings at it. But that is, in watching a bunch of his swings, generally what he was doing is not generating a lot of power in his lower half. He was, kind of just, he wanted to get his hands to where the ball was going to be. He wasn't trying to generate a lot of power. He was trying to essentially just make contact, which we saw with his strikeout rate right there. But this is a still from the third home run that he hit against the Yankees on Tuesday. And as you can see, that leg is up. It is it's like his knee is at his waist. That is a big, pronounced leg kick. And I think that is something that we're seeing from him that is generating some of that power that we're seeing. Obviously, he has 4 home runs. He hit home runs in the minor leagues, too. How much of that was aided by Las Vegas? Hard to say. But that is something that I've noticed. And I'm not a big swing change guy at all, but that's a big difference that I happened to stumble upon. And there you go. I think that is what we're seeing. I'm going to ask him about it a little bit on Saturday and, get some more insight as to what his approach was. Was it his idea? Was it the A's idea? What's going on here? So I thought that was all very interesting. And last thing on Jordan Diaz here is with that added power and his ability to make contact, he can go back and forth, I think. I think that all 3 of those pitches were on sweepers or sliders as well. I think 2 were on sweepers, 1 was on a slider. So maybe he's just hunting breaking pitches, and that's his thing. But he's still just 22 years old. And if he can add a little bit of just walkability, if he can get on base via the walk a little bit, he could be a real menace to pitchers. If he can get on base at like a 360 clip and hit, 265, 280, somewhere in there, and then also club 15 to 20 homers, that's a very productive player. And we also are seeing the makings of a pretty good defensive second baseman. I saw one play live where there was a runner on first. It was a grounder to him, and he charged it, tagged the runner out going to second base, and then threw over to first. And that is a play that Jordan Diaz does not make last year. And so we're seeing him make a lot of progress. I'm excited to see what the future holds for Jordan Diaz. I know that somebody was trolling, was like, oh, let's calm down. His on base is still just 283. I'm like, yeah, it's a work in progress. He is 22 years old. He is not a finished product. he is just adding new layers all the time. I'm excited to see what other layers are in store. But that's all that I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for making the Locked On A's your first listen of the day. We're free and available on all platforms, including on YouTube. For you everydayers, tomorrow we're going to get you ready for the rest of the Rangers series. We're going to talk about the expiring exclusive agreement for the A's to negotiate with Howard Terminal that it's expiring at midnight, I believe. So that should be over by the time we talk tomorrow. So that'll be fun. And then some other ballpark news. I'm sure there will be more because it's another day that ends in Y, and the A's are wild. So we're going to talk about all of that on tomorrow's show. But that's all that I got for you guys today. So until next time, go out and celebrate good times, A's fans, and I'll talk with you tomorrow.